Hello, ladies. Hi, Amira.
Hi, Dana.
Mm. Welcome. Hmm. Dina, still half asleep. This is the last time, Dina. This is the last class at this hour. So next week is the Easter, Sham el-Nisim, كل سنة وانتم طيبين. So we don't have a class. And then the week after, we're back to 7 p.m. Cairo. So hopefully for everybody, a better time
Yeah.
till we finish end of June, inshallah. All right, 8 o'clock. Let's start. Fruit detox is our focus today. I'm going to, I gave you all the important, relevant information in the modules. I will recap and take all your questions. I don't know how many of you recall. I mean, I've been doing this so long and telling my story, and I lose track of where I've told my story, who's heard my story. But fruit and all fruit detox was the catalyst for everything that happened in my life and why I became a health coach. It's the reason I completely transformed my health, completely changed my life, found my purpose and passion in life, and I'm here still doing it, 13 years later. I mean, just briefly, I remember at the time I was 36, 37. It was 2012, 2011 or 2012. And I had reached, I think, what was the lowest point in my health in terms of I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't have any energy. I had joint pain. I want to say depression enough that I was prescribed depression medications. I took them for 1 week and then I stopped. Um, what else did I have? My usual very painful ovulation pains that I had every single month. I had a frozen shoulder I was doing physio for. And up until the point where I went and found, this health coach who put me on this journey. The first time in my life I'd have ever heard the word detox. Up until that point, I had been vegetarian. So for about 2 years leading up to this point, I had stopped eating any protein completely, and I was substituting, usually when people go vegetarian, they remove the animal protein and focus on plant protein. So I was eating a lot of beans, a lot of lentils, a lot of hummus, a lot of bread, um, plus some greens, but it was mostly like my breakfast in the morning was like a whole wheat piece of bread with like smashed avocado. And then lunch was like a salad, a lentil salad with a little bit of greens. And then snacking was hummus with carrots. And then dinner was like a lentil salad, maybe with some more beans and some more bread. And I did that for about 2 years because I had, everybody at that time was saying, this is the best way to be. My health was not my goal at the time. I was just trying to lose weight. And I kept pushing myself because I thought, it's just a matter of time. It's going to take my body time for this to click, for me to feel better. But actually, what ended up happening is I got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I would start going to doctors and they would say, the only thing they kind of said, okay, there might be an issue was they would test my thyroid, and it was a little bit on the low side, but not enough to give me medication. Everything else on my blood tests was showing that I was perfectly fine, but I was not perfectly fine, aside from the little bit of depression. And of course, I was gaining weight. And then finally, by pure coincidence, my brother was telling me about this health coach who was in Egypt already. He happened to be seeing clients at Sami Aluba's gym, and I was a client at Sami Aluba's gym in Maadi at the time. And so I went very, very begrudgingly because I was like, what is this? I thought of him as a dietitian. Like, what is this dietitian going to do differently for me than all the other nutritionists and dietitians that I had been to in Egypt up until that point? So I went, and he was a health coach. He was an alternative practitioner, health practitioner. He was not a typical dietitian or nutritionist, et cetera, et cetera. And he sat with me for 2 hours and took my full history of my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, my habits, what I eat, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of it, he said, your body's very, very inflamed. We need to put you on a detox. And of course, I'd never heard that word before. And I said, right, what is it? And he basically put me on fruits only for 2 weeks. And that was the first time in my life I had ever heard of the word detox. First time in my life I had ever heard that you can just eat fruits and fruits only. I'd gone on diets, and all the diets were either, calorie counting, portion controlled, but they had a little bit of everything. You would have a little bit of bread, a little bit of pasta, a little bit of protein, even a little bit of cheese, and maybe like one fruit a day. But I had never ever heard of eliminating everything, and only eating fruits. But I was quite desperate. And so I went home and I did it. And 2 weeks later, every single one of my symptoms was gone. Gone. The frozen shoulder was gone. I had obviously, the very basic symptoms like low energy, constant headaches, weight gain, the cramping, my ovulation cramping took a few more months to go away, but I couldn't believe my shoulder because I had been doing physiotherapy for 3 months and nothing happened. And it was from then on that I was like, how come nobody told me about this before? How does everybody not know that you can just switch how you eat and all of a sudden you can heal everything? Then I became a health coach and learned everything there is to know, and as they say, the rest is history. So I go on all fruit detoxes all the time, regularly. I do them periodically throughout the year. I've never led a group on an all fruit detox. And I think I just have to be very transparent and say I always felt like if I'm going to advertise, come and do my detox, and it's going to be all fruits, and nobody would sign up. And we also learned many different ways to detox when I was learning how to be a health coach, and I learned under many different teachers. And detoxing can happen at many different levels, many different speeds. It doesn't just have to be all fruits the way that I did it the first time. Some of you will remember in the hormone detox program, I taught you that in one of the first classes that there are levels of detoxes. There are depths and intensities to detoxes. So the most intense is what's called a dry fast, which is basically what we do in Ramadan, which there's no food and no drink for a specific period of time. It's not something you can do for very long. You cannot go without food and without water for very long. Maybe you can do it 3 days, maybe 4 days, but that's about it. It's the reason why fasting in Ramadan has the potential to be so incredibly healthy and so healing because we do dry fast for about 12 to 15 hours, sometimes 18 hours, depending on where you are in the world. The problem, of course, with Ramadan is that when it's time to eat, almost everybody is then slamming the body with all the inflammatory foods, completely undoing all the benefits of the dry fasting that they've been doing. So that's the deepest way of detoxing, but it's not a way that's sustainable because we cannot live without any kind of food or drink for a long period of time. The second most intense way to detox is water fasting. I'm sure you've all heard of water fasting. In Egypt, we have the water fasting retreats. You eliminate all food, and for 7 days, 21 days, I think the maximum is 28 days, maybe a month, you subsist on nothing but water and I believe a little bit of honey, and that's it. And this is a very deep, very intense detox, which I would only recommend to people who want to heal from something like cancer, from like if you have an autoimmune and you're just not seeing any kind of response to it, then I would do that. I know a lot of people do it to go and lose weight. I wouldn't recommend it to go and lose weight. It's tough, and it's definitely not something you ever do on your own. when you go on these retreats, there are doctors, so it does need to be monitored by a doctor, because the withdrawal symptoms from that are, I mean, all of you have done some form of detoxing with me before. Think of your worst detox symptom that you've ever had and multiply that, by 10. That's what happens in the water fasting retreats. And I have had clients who have gone and who've reported back to me and told me that when because it mostly hits everybody at the same time, right? The client who told me, she's like, we'll go and literally I can't walk, I can't get myself out of bed, but I need to make it to where the doctor's office is. And she's like, and I get to the doctor's office and everybody who's with me in the retreat is all passed out on the floor waiting to see the doctor. They just need some kind of support. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's that intense. So you wouldn't do that unless you're really, 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 really ill. You have a lot of rebalancing to do, and you have to do it with medical supervision. Beyond that is where we get into levels of detoxing that anybody can do independently. So right after water fasting is an all liquid juice, vegetable diet where you don't eat anything solid and you're just living on juices. And the juices can be all fruits, or they can be all vegetables, or they can be a mix. But you're not putting anything solid in your mouth at all. Again, highly, highly, and very deeply intense. This is basically what cancer patients will do. Um, about 6 to 8 months seems to be the average length of time where people can heal cancer completely naturally by drinking fruits and vegetables only, not eating anything solid for about 6 to 8 months. So that's very intense also. After that, then you go into an all raw level. So you're still eating all fruits and vegetables or only all fruits. Never have I seen a detox that's all vegetables. It's either all fruits or a mix of fruits and vegetables. You would never remove fruits from a detox, but it's all raw. And then you can have, you can eat the fruits whole and the vegetables whole, or you can have them in smoothies or juices, etc. This is what we're doing now. So we're at quite a deep level of detoxing. The level beyond that, I would say, would be the hormone detox that all of you have done before, where it's a combination of fruits and vegetables, but some of them are cooked and some of them are raw. So now we're doing a full-on raw fruits only detox. Incredibly healing, incredibly powerful. And I think one of the reasons I decided to say, right, instead of just doing the basic detox that we've done before, specifically for feminine energy, nothing beats the energetics of fruits. And this is why we're doing this now. And specifically now, because we're coming into spring season, which is naturally the season of rebirth and renewal. And what better way to support your body when it's naturally in tune with nature and what's happening around it in this season of renewal than to support it with the foods that are the least antagonistic to the body, which are fruits. So I've given you a basic plan to follow. And then yesterday, I also added the document, which is for specific symptoms and add-ons. But let me make it very, very clear. If any of you are suffering from the symptoms that you've listed, or any symptom, the root cause of every single symptom is exactly the same. It's because you're regularly consuming or over consuming from the list of inflammatory foods, and you are deficient in nutrients, the most important building blocks, like the raw materials for your body, which are found in fruits and vegetables. So all of you who have said, I have low energy, I have all the perimenopause symptoms, thyroid issues, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, hair loss, um, weight issues, anything that you have mentioned, you're not really special. You're not unique in your set of symptoms. The symptoms just describe where the imbalance is happening in your body, which part of your body is overloaded with toxins and deficient in nutrients. That's it. So all of you have at the root cause the same problem. So I've added that document. If you want to add those little different fruits, and you're going to see that so much of it overlaps, and there isn't that much that's different because all fruits are healing. It's not about following the add-ons or not that's going to make you better. At the root, you're all the same. So even if you never looked at that add-on document with whatever symptoms you've got, and you just follow the basic plan, you will feel better. So that add-on document, just so I'm clear, is optional. Because some of you have asked, well, what can I do specifically for, joint health, for my bones? So it will give it a little push, but your bone health, your thyroid issue, your diabetes, your pre-diabetes, your headaches, your low energy are all rooted in the same issue, which is toxicity from that list of all the inflammatory foods and deficiency in the building blocks or the nutrients that your body needs to not only survive, but to thrive and regenerate. So go into that document if you want to add in a little extra push. But if you don't, it's not going to affect your results. This is really important for you to understand. Your specific set of symptoms is not unique. It just so happens that that's where it's showing up for you. Maybe based on genetics, maybe based on a certain lifestyle, maybe based on where your body's holding on to stress, where the toxicity is being stored, but every single one of you at the root has the same issue, toxicity and deficiency. And the reason we're doing fruits and not the detox we did before is just because fruits is a deeper level of detoxing. And all of you have done my detoxes before. It's time to take your detoxing to another level. It's time to push yourself to another level. That's it. Is it sustainable? 100%. There are people, they call them, people who eat fruits only are called frugivores. They've been living on fruits for 10, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, the healthiest people you'll meet in the planet. People who cure their cancer. Obviously, when the cancer is cured, when they spent 6, 8, 10 months curing their cancer, by that time, they're not going to jump back into eating whatever it is they were eating before. So they continue to eat this way, maybe 90, 95% of the time. And then they'll add in some cooked vegetables, right? Some cooked foods. But this is how they survive and this is how they live. This is not to say that this is what you need to do. This is not to say that you need to become a frugivore or a fruitarian, whatever term they happen to use. What we are doing is challenging ourselves, right? We are looking to elevate our feminine qualities, the feminine energy, the way that we hold ourselves in our lives, the way that we start each day, the way that we prioritize the things that are important for us. And on any level, if you've got brain fog, if you've got fatigue, if you have in the next week's module, I'm going to talk about the other ways that the other sources of toxicity that are not food related, but things to do with purpose and passion. When all of that is not there, when it's lacking for you, you cannot show up for yourself fully. And the easiest way to start to clear all of that is by detoxing. And then an even easier way to do that through detoxing is to do it through fruits. I know it can seem daunting, but remember the first detox you ever did, whenever you joined the hormone detox program, and how that seemed so daunting, right? The idea of not drinking coffee, the idea of not having bread or cheese or even animal protein, and you thought it was completely impossible. This is exactly the same. Your mind is working exactly the same way as it did back then, but you overcame all of that, right? You surprised yourself that you can live without coffee, you can remove it, you can remove your favorite junk food, you can remove your favorite comfort food, you can take your body to such an incredible level of healing where you can come off medications, where you have gotten rid of every single symptom you've ever had. Backtracking is a normal part of the process. So, reaching a point where you feel like you have to recalibrate and repeat is how you keep yourself on top of your health. It's how you keep yourself in control. So, for those of you who are coming into this worried that can you do this? You've already proved that you can do this because you've done it before. There's absolutely nothing. You proved yourself once, twice. Some of you have been in my programs several times where you have proven to yourself over and over and over again that you can. And this is no different. It's just a different plan. But the approach is going to be the same. The mindset work is going to be the same. The resistance is going to be the same. The way we're going to shift our thoughts around it is going to be the same. It's just literally what you're putting on your plate that's changing. Any questions, ladies? Raise your
Hey,
hand.
Dana. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Idalia.
So I'm not very consistent with the plan itself. I'm eating only fruits, but whatever I like, really. So I put everything on a tray, a big tray, and then I choose whatever I want now. And for the next meal, I would do the same. Probably I don't have big meals except for two meals.
Mm.
And the other would be snacking only. So I'm wondering if
Show
that's
me.
okay.
I don't want to imagine your quantities. So can you take pictures of them and show me in the group? The only reason this plan can the only I would say if you're going to worry about this plan, it would be not eating enough.
Okay, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
So,
So you're not hungry is a good sign, but I want to see your quantities as well, right? You cannot overeat fruits. You cannot. You
mhm.
can definitely undereat to where they won't have the healing effect. They won't do what you want them to do. You won't see results. And I see this a lot. It happened to me at one point because they can be very filling because they're so nutrient dense. They will just go straight to your cells. They're gonna, that's it. The hunger signal's over. But sometimes when you want a healing prescription, sometimes you need to override that to make sure you're getting the right we don't use the word calories, but literally the right amount in calories of
Mm.
the fruits that you need in order to see the healing benefits. So take pictures of everything that you're eating and put that in the group so that I can gauge how your quantities and how much you're getting.
Okay. And what about the sugar spike? Shouldn't this be
So
getting
this is
sugar
one of
spike?
the main reasons I wanted to do this because this is a myth we literally have to like kill and bust and bury once and for all, right? We are created as humans to thrive on sugar. Fruits have been with us for millions of years, okay? Millions of years. We are not meant to eat processed sugars. The confusion here is that mainstream education, mainstream medicine, mainstream media, big pharma, whatever you want to call it, want you to believe that the sugar in your banana and your strawberries and your mango and your dates is the same type of sugar in candy and sweets and Coke and the white stuff that you put in your coffee and your tea. Nothing could be further from the truth. One is toxic and one is healing. You do not get sick or get diabetes or get sugar spikes from eating fruits. There's not a single person in the history of the world who has ever gotten diabetes from overeating fruits. There isn't a single client of mine who has prediabetes or insulin resistance or diabetes. When she comes to work with me and at the point of working with me, and I ask her, how many fruits have you been eating or were you eating up until the day you were diagnosed with with a sugar imbalance? And the answer is, I don't really eat fruits.
Mm.
Any sugar imbalance issue happens from processed sugars and an overconsumption of fats and proteins because fats and proteins will coat your cells, sort of create like a jelly-like layer around the cells so that when insulin tries to move glucose into your cells, whether that's the sugar from fruit or the sugar from processed sugars, it can't. And then when insulin can't move sugar, that's when it spikes because the body keeps pumping more insulin to move sugar. But then the insulin can't move the sugar. There's also a natural spike to insulin. And this is again where there's confusion because in, um, um, pre-diabetic or insulin resistant or diabetic clients of mine measure their sugar every time they eat anything, and then they'll measure their sugar every time they have a fruit, and then they'll see a spike. Insulin has to have a little spike anytime you eat. It doesn't matter. If you're eating a fruit, if you're eating a piece of bread, if you're eating a piece of meat, insulin naturally has to go up a little bit, do its job, and then come back down again. And I wrote this example for somebody for Basma on the group. She was asking me the same thing. I don't know if you read my explanation or not. Imagine it's just like your heart. Okay. So insulin is pumped from your pancreas. Okay. So you can get an idea of how the body works. Your heart has a resting heart rate, right? You're sitting right now, Delia. You're not doing anything. And if you were to measure your heart rate, it would be your resting heart rate, whatever that is for you. Then let's say you just get up. You get up right now and you walk to the kitchen and you go get yourself a glass of water. Your heart rate is going to go up a little bit because there's a function to it. There's a function to the heart rate that corresponds to your level of activity. Let's say we're done with the call and you decide to go out for a run. Okay, your heart rate is going to go up even further to support that. Then you're going to come back from your run and your heart rate is slowly going to go back to its resting rate. Nobody ever worries about that. Nobody's like, oh my God, my heart rate is going up. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? There's a spike in my heart rate, right? Same thing happens with insulin. When you're not eating, you're not consuming anything, your insulin has a resting rate. Then you go and get an apple, eat the apple. Oh, okay, we need to move the sugar from this apple into the cells. Okay, so it's going to go up a bit. It's going to move the sugar, then it's going to come down. You go and have a big bowl of pasta. It's like you're going for a run. Insulin has to really pump to try and get all of that processed sugar into the cell. It's not going to succeed. That's why it stays elevated. When insulin doesn't succeed in moving the sugar into your cells because it's the wrong kind of sugar, then the body keeps pumping more insulin at higher levels, stays raised for a longer period of time because it's trying to do what it needs to do. So fruits require the least amount of insulin. Processed foods require more. High fatty foods require even more. So the problem is not the functional spike of insulin so that it can do its job. The problem is if it's spiked too high and then it stays stuck there. So imagine you go for a run and you reach your peak heart rate while you're running, then you come home and you sit down and your heart is still at the speed it was when you were running. That's when you get the problems with insulin resistance and prediabetes and diabetes because insulin is not allowed to do its job of peaking and resting, peaking and resting. Does that clarify?
Thank you. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah. Can I ask one more thing,
of
please?
course.
Um, so I don't usually get hungry. So when I wake up, I just have the lemon water, and then I think I stay until 11:30 to start having the fruits or smoothie or whatever. Is this okay?
No. So no. You
Oh,
want to have
okay.
a proper full-on, it's fuel, okay? And your liver, we're always working, the liver is always working regardless of which intensity you're using as a detox. So your liver has been resting, regenerating, letting go of toxicity all through the night. It needs fuel in the morning. And not eating in the morning, put aside the fact that you're not giving your body fuel. What's going to happen when you don't give your body fuel in terms of sugar is your cortisol has to do the job instead. So if you're not going to eat first thing in the morning, the body goes into panic mode. Where are we going to get the energy? She's not consuming it. Okay, we know that cortisol is the backup, right? The body uses cortisol whenever there's a panic state in the body. And not having enough food, generally, whether it's first thing in the morning or you skip meals or you go for too long without fuel, the body's going to pump cortisol because it's there as your backup. So you're going to raise cortisol levels, especially in the morning when cortisol levels are naturally higher in the morning. So
Oh,
you do need to fuel, and to fuel really well when you wake up.
oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amira, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. Uh, okay, I'm bored. I'm very bored, and I yesterday, for example, I discovered that I don't even look forward to eating my fruit ball or my fruit smoothie, and I discovered that I'd rather be fasting,
Mm,
you know, than because I don't crave it. Okay, I don't look forward to it, and I'm not enjoying it,
mm.
and I started to crave veg vegetables. Like I'm craving, I want broccoli, I want cauliflower, I want my asparagus. Okay, I want carrots.
Can I just stop you for a second? We'll get to it. But
Yes,
how amazing is
اتفضلي.
it that this is what you're craving, right? I
Yes,
want
honest to
my
God.
broccoli. I want my
Yes,
asparagus.
yes, 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 yes. I swear to God, I'm not at all missing or craving for any kind of rice pasta
Yeah,
because for months I have stopped eating this. So it's fine by me now.
yeah.
But I do want my steamed broccoli. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday I had this like long lasting moment of craving. So what did I do? The famous vegetable broth?
Yes.
Okay, I made it and then I took the water of the broth. And what did I do? I had a zucchini and I did the noodles of the zucchini. Okay, and you should see my immense delight إنه أنا top of the world. يا ربي, I'm eating this. Okay, and then I told myself خلاص يا أميرة you're still doing good for your body, because I think this is what worries me the most if I'm
Yes.
doing wrong
Yes.
for my body. And I'm like, yes, and it's still, I'm not eating anything that is from the no list, or even no yes no list. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work, because honestly, Dana, I've tried everything: the mangoes, the raspberries, blueberry, blackberry, apples, bananas, strawberries, everything is
Have you
there.
made the banana and ice cream?
وعملت البنانا
What
نايس
is that?
كريم وكوكونات فليكس cinnamon, pinch of cinnamon,
Yeah.
pinch of sea salt, كل حاجة I did it. Okay, but أنا I wasn't even aware that I am that much like veggies. I want my veggies back يا دانا. I don't know if there's a way they can coexist. The funny thing is, after I had my البروث والزوكيني raw noodles, I started feeling an hour that, okay, I could do with another smoothie now, or I could do with a fruit ball.
Okay.
Okay, which is something لما أنا ببقى all fruit ما عنديش أي cravings. I'd rather stay fasting.
Hmm. Okay, we don't want you to
خلاص.
fast. No fasting, because that can backfire. To answer your question, can they coexist? Yes, of course they can coexist. Yes. So you haven't done anything wrong at all.
Okay.
Okay. So I know because you worry about that. You haven't done
Yes.
anything wrong, right? You haven't done
I
nothing
even
wrong
looked
with
up عشان عشان اقيس my conscience.
yes.
قعدت ادور في السورسز that ان الزوكيني is a fruit. ان الزوكيني is a
Yes.
fruit. وانا I ate the zucchini raw. Okay,
Yeah.
ما it
Yeah.
wasn't even cooked.
Yeah.
بس it tastes so good. I felt انه my body عارفه replenishing بقى. This is replenish feeling
Okay. You haven't done anything wrong at all. Nothing has gone wrong. You're still, especially if it's still mostly raw, you're still detoxing at a very deep level. So still very, very healing. We want to pay attention to, right, when frustration starts to set in, when boredom starts to set in. I would invite you to consider completing 10 full days of fruits only, right? So just 5 more days, okay? And then what I would say, if you feel like you need a vegetable or something cooked, then I would do potatoes because of they're kind of like the vegetable equivalent of a fruit. So potatoes or sweet potatoes,
sweet potatoes.
yeah,
Yes.
squash, and I guess zucchini also falls into that category as well, same family. So I would do those at the end of the day.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be your final meal at the end of the
Quantity.
day. And
Okay.
any quantities that you want, the same way that we eat any quantity of fruits as well.
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay, all
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
Omneya, go ahead.
Hi Dana, hi everyone.
Oh,
Uh, Hi, and I wanted to share something. And actually, alhamdulillah, I'm enjoying it جدا because I really want to fight this hypothyroid thing that I've been suffering from for the past, I don't know how many years now, a couple of years, I think, or so. I'm managing it alhamdulillah and يعني it's okay يعني مش I don't want to complain برضه but I just want to get rid of all the symptoms. So far I'm enjoying it. I just wanted to share something that I shared on the group but not sure if everyone have seen it. To kill this, I can't remember who shared this comment, the gaza of the fruits and the
Noha.
sweetness in
That
the
was
fruits.
Noha. Yes.
Yeah, yes. So basically what I did, and maybe this could help the rest, is I added, like, I made a fruit salad and then I added the avocado to the food processor with some oranges and lemons. And I made like a salad dressing using the avocado. And I added some like shredded carrots, shredded beets, shredded cucumbers, some tomatoes, some sea salt. And it was really nourishing. So it was like a fruit salad, but at the end of the day, you feel like you're eating a salad. So it's a bit savory.
Yeah.
And the baby spinach also, I had it like I cut it like a little bit of it. I know that we are allowed to add spinach to the smoothies, but I made this salad bowl last night and it was different in case someone wants a change from the fruits. So but so far I feel it's been really good. And also one of the things that has been really helpful for me is the affirmations. So whenever I feel tempted to try something or eat something warm that is not on the list, like I do some affirmations. And it really helped. It really helped a lot. The affirmations, we might sometimes feel like it's not gonna do anything to us, but it's really working. The last thing I wanted to share with you, Dana, or ask you is I've been having a cold or a flu for the past couple of days. So could this be one of the like impacts of the detox? Like, is it my body like reacting to the
Oh,
detox? But
100%.
otherwise, I don't feel weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom keeps on telling me, like, the typical moms, but you have to eat proper food. هتعمل So I was like, you go to work, you exercise, and you're eating food so early. And I was like, Mama, I'm okay. And when I got sick, of course, she was like, this is all because of the detox.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
fine. I'm not feeling weak. I'm actually feeling very well, alhamdulillah, but it's just the cold that I have. So sorry, I talked a lot, but I wanted to share everything on the call.
thank you for sharing. What you're the quote unquote cold and flu symptoms are detox withdrawal symptoms. So any and we're going to talk about that in a minute also. Any symptom of the body purging, okay, and that can look like mucus from your nose, like a runny nose. It can look like a cough. It can look like body aches. It can look like diarrhea. It can look like skin rashes, body odor. All of that are ways that the body purges toxins. What conventional medicine calls a cold and a flu is nothing more than the body purging. That's it. It's not, the body's not sick. You haven't broken down. Whether you believe you caught a germ from somebody or not, the end result is the same. The body has to get rid of it. So we have to allow the body to do that. If you take over-the-counter medications to suppress it, you you basically reverse the process of elimination and detoxification and push all the toxins back down into your body. So they're going to have to resurface again. But you want your body to purge. You want the signs of detox. Some people are going to have very, very minimal detox withdrawal symptoms, a little bit of low energy, maybe some headaches, maybe sleepiness. Then you might have runny nose, headaches, fever, coughing, body aches, the works, everything in between. You might be nauseous. I've had some ladies who vomit when their body gets into really deep detox. That's just how the body removes what's not supposed to be there. So it's nothing to worry about. You never, ever, ever, when you are in a state of purging, do you ever want to even say to yourself or talk to yourself? And Omnia, you're realizing the power of affirmations. So you never want to reverse that and say to yourself, I'm sick, my body's broken, look at what's happening to my body. On the contrary, the detox withdrawal symptoms are signs of how strong your body is, how the body knows exactly what it needs to do when it needs to do it. Our job is to support it in this process. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, Omneya. Please reassure your mother that your body is healing. And the reason it's showing up like this because there was a lot of stuff stuck inside, and now the body's finally getting rid of it. Um, Dina, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Dana. So basically, I'm out of my comfort zone here. I'm at my brother's in DC, and we've been invited since the first day of this detox every single day outside. So it's been quite a challenge for me to continue on the program. Like the whole day, I'm perfectly fine. I'm exercising, doing what I have to do, and all that, all my smoothies and everything. But then when comes dinner, like you're sitting there at a table and everyone is looking at you and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Give me a lettuce, give me give me an orange juice, give me anything. To an extent, like yesterday, everyone started feeling bad for me. We were out again, invited at this Spanish restaurant, and I can't, like, what am I gonna eat?
Mm.
You know? Everyone's eating paella, everyone is eating shrimps, all those. And then I was like, okay, give me some carrots and some asparagus and an orange juice. So I felt like I cheated a bit in that sense, but I don't know, like how, like I'm traveling back to Montreal in a couple of days. I don't know how I could sustain this because also I have my parents over from Egypt. So I'm cooking, I'm doing lots of activities as well. And I just find like I need, like Amira was saying, I need something at the end of the day to just like feel I'm okay because fruits by itself, like honestly, I am bored to an extent where I can't think anymore of what to do. I don't have low energy. I'm not hungry. But at the end of the day, I'm craving something. Yesterday, I found this like pistachio, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have it! I'm gonna have it!" I'm like, "I really need this." So I had the pistachio at night.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I'm not happy for any of your frustrations, obviously, but I love that what you feel you absolutely must have, is asparagus and a pistachio, which is such incredible physiological achievements on its own, right? I would say, Dina, we always want to set ourselves up for success, always. And traveling, and I can speak from personal experience here, being out of your home for any period of time is not really setting yourself up for success. Probably was not, I mean, I hats off to you for doing everything that you've done while out of your home, with all of this pressure. So my recommendation for you would be to, once you're home though, right? So don't let your brain continue to, create limitations for you. The hardest challenge is when you're not in your kitchen, you're not in your element, the routine is completely changed, even though I would argue that it's still a mindset that we could work on. But since it's such a temporary, short-lived period, trip, then I would say really focus when you get back home because you have everything set up for yourself there. And even if you have visitors, you have people over, they're not there you're all together for the company more than the food. If you do find yourself though, like Amira, and I mean really give yourselves a chance, ladies, before you do this. Like really think about it. Do the affirmations. Think about how that's going to serve you. Then in that case, then do the potatoes, do the sweet potatoes, one meal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't mind the one meal. I'll take the one meal. But
Uh,
how long are we gonna go on to doing this?
just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You take it
There's
one
no
day at a
like,
time. I'm just waiting for when you each start to tell me how amazing you feel. Let's see how
No,
long.
I feel honestly, I feel quite good, and my digestive system hasn't been like this good for a long time. I feel it in my in my skin and everything. But at one point, it's like, how much can I do, you know? And for me, like to have a time frame helps a little bit. I like things a little bit more tangible, I guess.
Does anybody ever ask themselves, how long can I eat protein for?
No,
How long can I drink coffee for?
no,
How
that's true.
long? Right? We don't. This is no different.
Okay, but what about the protein element?
No, we'll get to that because I see a couple of questions. Let me just get to the questions here, and then let me get to the questions here, and one of them is about protein, and I'll talk about that in general. Um, Omneya, Azmi, go ahead.
Hello. ازيكم وحشتوني بجد يعني it's been like I've been saying it's been challenging for me. I've been on and off for some time, but I'm back again. Today I'm starting whatever you are in. I'm just in my first day of it. So thank you for sharing all of that because it's going to help me a lot and setting my expectations. Though I've been through lots of detoxes with you, Dana, but like it's again uh, renewing my intentions, as we say. I wanted to share a recipe. I used to live in Thailand. They eat a lot of fruits and things like that. And they used to put, sometimes they always present their fruits with some chili and Himalayan salt.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's because some of the ladies here were like talking, how can we change the too sweet or the sweetness of that, eating too much fruit? And I wanted to ask you about that. So whenever I was in the market and we buy fruits from any cart, they put a small bag with some Himalayan salt and chili, and especially with mangoes and with pineapples. And they just dip it in there and they eat it.
Hmm.
So how would that help out, or is that helpful? I don't know. It's just like the traditional way of eating things.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but maybe I know too much salt is not okay, but like it can change the sweet
I
taste.
mean,
But the combination
salt,
I tried it is very nice.
yeah. I mean, maybe that's
The
just
papaya.
a sort of traditional way of doing it. That's like a traditional, flavor of
Mm. But
perhaps.
would that help in balancing things if people like feeling too much about eating a lot of the fruits? I'm not sure. I just thought of
I
sharing
mean,
this
you
because
can
I saw
definitely,
that.
yeah, definitely you could try. I mean, the only thing I know about things like chili or like hot spices, right, is that they're kind of warming to the digestive system, things like cinnamon,
Mhm.
chili, like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about what adding salt would do. Um, but I mean, try it. I mean, if you're using the right salt, there's no worry from salt. So if you're
yeah.
sea salt, using Himalayan salt, there's never a worry from salt. Salt is a
Mhm.
natural occurring mineral that our bodies
Yeah.
actually need. You don't get high blood pressure from salt, complete another
Hmm.
a whole other myth. You don't get water retention from salt, believe it or not.
Hmm.
So if you just out of curiosity even you want to try it and you see how your body reacts to that, then by all means go ahead.
Yeah. Normally they present it with Himalayan salt and chili.
Interesting.
It's a combination. They just dip it like that.
Any fruit.
Like any fruit, but especially I saw the papaya, the pineapple, and the green mangoes.
Interesting. And the chili, the powder, just a red chili powder.
Yes,
And they just dip it.
dip it there.
I mean, I think I'm going to try that just to see what it tastes like.
I tried it with papaya and it was interesting. It was nice because it's a mix of all the textures and tastes, and it was very nice. But I don't know if consuming it has a limit or not
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're doing it just like that. We have to think of the amount of things we do.
yeah. Try it and see. Those of you who feel maybe you need a little like spike to your fruits,
Yeah, yeah,
something, by all means, try it and report back.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, when I tried it, I felt like it's giving like exactly when you drink coffee and you feel so low and you drink coffee and you just wake up suddenly.
Yeah,
It had
yeah.
this effect. It did that. It affected me, so I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you for
Mm,
sharing. That's very interesting.
we can explore.
Yes, definitely we can explore. Is that all, Umnea? Did you have another question?
Yeah, so I'm on my first day of starting, so I'll be sharing with you. And thanks for the ladies who shared, who encouraged me because I sent on the group. I've been on and off, and I don't know from where to start. Now I decided I'm back,
Good.
and I'm starting the fruit detox today.
Amazing. I'll be
Inshallah.
starting. So I'm traveling back to Cairo on Wednesday, inshallah. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So yeah, I'll be starting like as soon as I get back, I just need a day of preparation and I realized I can't do Asian food for too long. I can't do
You're
too
in
much
Japan,
garlic.
right?
Yeah, I'm in Japan. Cannot.
Yeah.
Not. This is not for me. I don't know how my daughter's doing it. It's not for me. The rice is not for me. The soy sauce is not for me. The sushi is not for me. They
Mm.
do a raw egg on everything. That's definitely not for me. They do a
They
lot of
do.
protein. That's not for me. There's literally they do vegetables, but it's all like in miso soup or like cooked in different ways. Fruits do not, you don't see fruits anywhere except they have these really funny looking desserts with like one strawberry that's covered in like a dough, kind of a bean paste dough.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
no.
They have the purple sweet potato. Have you tried the purple sweet
I
potato
tried
over
the
there?
purple sweet potato. Yeah, no.
And the taro, they have a lot of recipes using the taro.
Yeah,
They
yeah, no.
dry fruit, even if it's dried.
I need my fruits. I need to
I
go
need
back.
my fruits.
I need
I need my
all my
comfort zone
fruits.
with my
I
fruits.
cannot wait. I've been here 2 months, and for the first time, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit here. First time since that first detox I did 12, 13 years ago, my shoulder hurts again, like really
Ah,
badly
ah,
hurts again.
ah.
The other day I was walking around with my daughter. We went out for a little walk. I couldn't finish the walk because my knee was hurting. It was so painful. My
Mm,
joints were hurting. Which is, if people don't understand why this is happening to their body, they're just going to say this is aging, right? They're just going to say I'm getting older. They're going to say I have,
mm. Yes,
but,
yes,
but when you know, and you know exactly 2 months of eating in a way that is definitely
yes.
more inflammatory than healing, and my body's showing all the symptoms again. So I cannot wait to go back, and I'll be with you 100% on this fruit detox.
I totally hear you because I've been experiencing the same thing. I've been off, honestly, very off with everything. So I decided, no, 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 no. My knees, my shoulders, my period, everything is like, and it's not aging.
No,
I'm older
no,
than you, Dana, so it's not
no.
aging.
My period, you want to hear this, ladies? My period that has been on the dot every 28 days, exactly 3.5 day cycle. This month, I had my period for 14 days.
Same happened to me.
14 days.
Same happened to me.
Yep. I mean, I don't need
I
any.
had my period first day of on 8th, and today, yeah.
Yeah. This is, uh,
And I know why. I know
I know
why.
why, and I know why,
I know
right? I know
why.
exactly why.
We know,
Yeah,
right? We know. So
exactly.
yeah, let's go back.
Yep. So definitely, if you've ever needed any kind of motivation, I know without a doubt, 100%, I will go back. I will, even if I wasn't going to do 100% fruit like this, if I was just going to go back to my normal, all the symptoms in my next cycle is going to be back to normal. I want to do the fruits, number one, because I want to be doing it with the group, but because I know, especially, I never ever I couldn't have foreseen the extent to which my body's not going to respond to eating in Asia. There's no way I could have foreseen that. But because of what I'm seeing, I am 100% motivated and 100% ready and intentional to go into this 100% fruits when I get back. Because I know it's the going to be the fastest, most efficient, literally the most amazing way for me to heal myself. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, I know I sidetracked from
And
something.
you know what?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to give myself any excuses, I got the ready-made chops and the fruit ready cut, so I don't feel like I will have to prepare. No, they are there.
Yeah.
Start. It's like I'm not giving me
Yeah.
myself any excuses, right?
Exactly.
Mm. Thank
Um, Thank you, Umnaya, for that. Thank you for that share. Sandra, go ahead.
Hi, I have a quick question. So, I've been doing like the vegan, been not eating any protein for 45 days now.
Right.
So next week, I heard Marianne was asking the same question. So you told her to start starting next week.
Yes.
But for me, it's like the question is like, okay, so I will reintroduce the meat, you know what I mean? And then I will cut them off again.
Mm.
So I'm afraid that would have the effect, and then so I'm gonna, no,
I'm guessing you're going to eat meat on Fil Eid, right? I mean, that's just a given.
yes,
Okay, so you're going to do that anyway, right? It's your religious celebration. You need to have it every day after that. I mean, no.
that's the question. So that's why my
Yes.
question is, do I skip like do I start after a week or like few days? My
I would
only
give
concern is
yourself,
I don't want to go deep.
yeah, I would give yourself, there's the Eid and then there's Sham Nisim, okay? So I would give yourself a few days after that of simple, clean eating, okay?
Okay.
I'm also going to guess that fil Eid, you're going to have kahk, you're going to have sweets, you're going to have other stuff, right?
Not necessarily. I'm not craving
No?
any of these.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's great that if you're not. So if it's just the animal protein, and what, are you going to have the other traditional foods?
I don't eat. No, I don't. I'm not into the what was it called, the fatta and all this.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah.
any of this
Okay.
stuff. No.
So you're really not breaking your streak.
Okay.
All you're gonna have is some protein. So I would say have the protein, give yourselves a few days of eating with, just eating, and then start, I would say 4 or 5 days later. So if I eat this Sunday,
Okay.
start on Thursday.
And start what?
The Thursday after that.
The Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And another thing is like after the 45 days, I've noticed that I still like I still have some symptoms. So I do have some bread sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
eating bread sometimes and the French fries sometimes. But not every day. But
Yeah.
I did not eliminate that 100%.
Okay.
But I mean, my cycle is still off. I do have arthritis, some arthritis. So I mean, like I have pain still, even after 45 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's
Were
happening. Is it
you
because of just the bread and
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
fries?
bread will do that. The French fries, fried in seed oil will do that. Were you also eating fool? Were you eating lentils?
No,
Any beans?
no.
Nothing.
I eat peas. Yes.
No, not peas. Peas are fine. No, any kind of
No, no,
legumes like fool, hummus,
no,
lentils,
no,
like that. Okay.
no.
So bread is always going to be inflammatory, and depending on your susceptibility to it, all it could take is one loaf of bread to flare something up. Okay. So
Okay.
going on a deep detox, if there's a layer that you still need to get to, a layer of healing that we haven't yet, the detox will
That
be.
will do. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about the noise.
Nermeen.
Hi, Dana. How are
Hello.
you? Long time.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I more or less I had the same question like Sandra because I've been lenting for quite a while, and I felt it's for the fruit detox. I didn't start it yet.
Okay.
So I was just saying that although I've been quite on the clean eating since our last program, but I have, thank God, no, my colon and issues have gone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's out. But I've started to have this sinus thing, which I didn't have before,
Mm.
and my feet gets really hot. And
Okay.
this is like two new things to me.
Yeah.
And but it's been 60 days and I'm completely vegetarian. and I could say it's 99% I'm sticking to the clean diet. So I'm not sure why those symptoms.
Have you added in any of the beans as well? Fool.
Oh yes.
Oh,
No, actually lentil.
yeah. So any of the legumes,
Lent-
lentils, fool, hummus, how often were you eating those?
Oh no, a lot. Lentil hummus I was eating almost every other day.
Okay. Yeah. So those
Yeah.
are on the list. In yesterday's module, I gave a brief about why those can be problematic. So the body is always responding, ladies. The body is always responding. Nothing happens out of the blue. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Every single symptom that you've got, if we break down what you've been eating and what you've been doing, we're going to find why. Easy peasy.
Mm.
It really is, right? Lentils, beans, hummus are on the inflammatory food list. For some people, it can just take a small quantity. For others, it could take you eating them for months and months without feeling anything, and then finally the body sort of gives in under the weight of the inflammatory effect. So it is a bit different for everyone, but it's not surprising, right? You are showing symptoms of sinus issues, the congestion.
Mhm.
Inflammatory foods do.
Okay.
Always remember your body is responding accordingly, whether that is diabetes, high blood pressure, joint pain, low energy. Look at my body's responding. I've been here
Mhm.
months, haven't had my a ton of fruits every day, hardly any fruits every day. Haven't had I've completely been off. I've been eating rice, protein, soy, Japanese food. My husband and my kids came during the Eid break. They were here for 10 days with us. Um, the Japanese have a funny culture of eating from convenience stores. So I don't know if you guys know this. So there's convenience stores everywhere, and they're like, as a tourist, this is what you have to do. I hadn't done that before everybody came for the Eid vacation, but we did that as part of the, being tourists. So I was eating out of convenience stores, right? Because everybody eats from the convenience store in Japan. And my body is responding accordingly. 100% aches, pains, my knees hurt. I actually had to rub magnesium oil so I could finish walking and go to sleep yesterday. A 14-day period. It's never happened in my life, much less since I started, this whole journey. So it is there's never a mystery.
Mhm.
There's never a mystery when your body shows symptoms. If you take
Mhm.
the time and you're very, you're in tune with your body and you're very honest about what you've been doing and not doing,
Mhm.
your body you're going to you're going to connect the dots. And then obviously if
Mhm.
you don't, it's my job to see your blind spots and connect the dots for you. There is never a mystery. In all of the time been doing this work, there's never been a mystery or a question mark trying to figure out why someone has the symptoms they do. And,
Mhm.
which is great because we know the
Mhm.
solution, right? If there's
Mhm.
no
Yeah, yeah.
mystery, we have the solution. So, and then another reason why to take the body through a deeper level of detox, a deeper level of healing. So, for all of you here, there's nothing to worry about. All of you have told me what your issues are. I can tell you exactly why they're happening. Your doctor might have a different opinion. Your doctor might tell you this is not curable, this is not reversible. The only way that we can manage this is through painkillers, or you take I don't know what they take for sinuses, antibiotics every time you get a sinus flare up. But because they don't understand that the body can heal and that the body can regenerate and the body can reverse. We know that there's a completely different way of doing it. It doesn't mean when your doctor tells you that's the only solution. It just means, and when they say that, it doesn't mean the when they say there's something that they can't cure, they mean they're not lying. They can't cure it. Conventionally, they don't know how. They have a limit. Doesn't mean that there isn't another totally unconventional way of doing it. You just have to open yourself up to that and open yourself up to the process and the journey and the work. It does take work. And this is what we're doing.
And then it's a struggle because for my sinuses they keep saying, because of course among friends you have doctors, conventional doctors, they keep saying like if you didn't take something to stop the runny nose, then it goes down in your chest and you get congested, so it even can get more complications.
Right.
So one struggles with that.
I mean, you know where the mucus is coming from. You know that
Hmm.
the body is releasing toxins through the mucus. We know that the body can't self-inflict an infection because that would mean that the body is working against you, and your body can never work against you. If let's just play devil's advocate. If that explanation is correct, okay, and there's mucus, you know, congested up here and it's coming out of your nose and then it ends up in your chest, what does the body do? You develop a cough.
Hmm.
That's what the body does next, right? So if it ends up in the chest, how does the body eliminate from the chest? It eliminates by coughing.
Hmm.
You want to get to the root cause to eliminate the mucus to start with from up here, so it never comes out here and never goes down here. That's the difference.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right?
We've been through that, so we know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Nirmeen, I don't know, some of you know Nirmeen, she has had IBS for 30 years, and they told you you
Yeah,
can never be rid of your IBS, and now what?
no, it's gone.
It's gone.
Absolutely gone.
Absolutely gone.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's during this liver detox I totally gave up. I totally gave up. It was just I said like one last try,
Let's
but
try.
it's gone. And I stopped my medications since September, and it's gone.
Yep. It works.
Alhamdulillah.
It works.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Nothing works better than don't thank me. I just hold the space and I give the instructions so that you can all of you go back to your body and go back and bring yourself back to this incredible healing, innate healing wisdom that the body has. Every single body can heal. Does every person want to heal? That's the only question.
Hmm.
That's the only difference. But of
Yeah, and it's not that easy to listen to your body. It takes a while
course,
until you start the elimination process and you start listening to your body and know what triggers what. It takes time. So it's good that one keeps going on even if things fall off the track for some days or some weeks. I think one should pick up again because when you start listening and when you know stuff, things get better. At least this is what happened for me.
you're absolutely right. It is a journey and it's a long-term journey when you commit to it. And it's a journey of two steps forward, one step back, always.
Hmm.
That's how healing works. And every single time you take a few steps forward, you learn something different about your body. You heal on one level. Sometimes you might heal on a physical level. You might get rid of your IBS. The next time you take yourself on another healing journey or you continue, you heal yourself maybe on an emotional level. Maybe you heal yourself on a mental level and nothing happens physically. And you really never know which level is the one that's going to heal next. The only thing you can do is trust the process and keep going. That's it. All right, let me look at all of these questions here. Marianne, hi Marianne. Question about proteins. Are these in certain fruits? And are these needed during the fruit detox? Influence on the body? So yes. Um, if you tag me in the group, Marianne, please, I do have a little like infographic that tells you the amount of protein in certain fruits. I don't know them off the top of my head, so I can share that with you. Um, The fruit detox, you will get all of this in the fruit detox. Do you need protein to heal? No. What we're doing is healing, and you cannot heal from foods that are dead, which is what animal proteins are. I'm not saying you don't need to eat animal proteins later on. We have evolved eating fruits and vegetables and animal protein. The problem is the way that animal protein has been, it went from being very, very natural, roaming in nature, just eating grass, to being, raised in industrial farms with the hormones and the chemicals and all of that. In addition to the things that we never used to eat before, like all the processed foods and the seed oils and the junk food and all of this being added into what we ate. So that even when we do eat something that we have evolved with, historically speaking, like basic animal protein, our bodies are overloaded. So when we look at healing, we have to remove all the sources that can get in the way of healing. Protein, whatever they want to tell you about its benefits, is not regenerative. It cannot regenerate because you cannot regenerate your cells. When we talk about healing, we're talking about regenerating cells. You cannot regenerate from something that's dead. It's impossible. Physically, physiologically impossible. You eat a piece of beef, a piece of chicken, a piece of fish, the cleanest one, the most grass-fed one, the wildest fish, you grow it, you have a farm and you raise your own animals. They do not regenerate. Only, that's why we're doing raw. Only raw fruits and vegetables have the power to regenerate dead, tired, sick, mutated, overloaded cells. They're the only ones that can do that because they are alive.
Dana, sorry, how long does it take to regenerate the cells? I mean, the cycle of the cells, is it
Well,
like
I, I'm
40
well,
days or something like that?
I'm not sure, but no, I think it's less. I think it's less than that. I can look that up and let you know. But, I cite the example of cancer patients who the cancers, when we look at cancer, what is cancer except a cell that has reached the highest level of malfunction? That's it. There's no more malfunction past the malfunction of a cell that is in a cancer state. So if we can take cancerous cells and for 6 to 8 months give them nothing but raw fruits and vegetables in liquid form, we know that in 6 to 8 months you can regenerate the most mutated malfunctioning cell in 6 to 8 months, maybe a year in like really, really deeper cases. So if and that cannot happen with animal protein. You cannot regenerate a sick and dying mutated cell with animal protein. So think of all your symptoms, like if we look at cancer as like the highest type, the most intense type of malfunction in a cell. And let's say that for argument's sake, the lowest sort of least intense form of malfunction is like low energy. When you have low energy, it's because your cells are starting to malfunction. If it takes 6 to 8 months to regenerate cancer cells and be rid of cancer in the body, then everything else kind of falls in between. And when we say trust the process, because there is no definitive timeline. It might take you 1 week to regain your low energy. It might take you a month to regain your low energy. It might take you 3 months to get rid of joint pain. It might take you 10 days to get rid of joint pain. The only thing we know for sure is that it will regenerate if you keep trusting the process. That's it. That's the only guarantee. Timelines, no definitives there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Rania, please advise what to do when we go out. Some places don't have, yeah, most places don't have fruit platter options. Um, mm. So if you're going out, I would say either take a juice with you, a fruit smoothie with you. Um, Obviously, you always have the choice of not going out. Take this time. I always say when you're detoxing is a time for downtime. It's a time to honor yourself and honor your body. If you absolutely have to, take it with you. If you can order a single fruit, maybe not a whole platter of a variety. Can they just get you a bowl of watermelon or just a bowl of any one single fruit? That would also work. Um, do we follow the fruit options or can we make your own? You can definitely make your own. Obviously for the simple reason that all of us live in different places. We might not all have the same availability of seasonal fruits as everybody. I would just stress that the quantities. Do not skimp on the quantities. If you feel like you could be doing more, then you're probably right and eat more. If you cannot do this plan by having 10 bananas only a day to make your life simpler. Or I'll just eat bananas. I'll have 10 bananas a day. It won't work. You can have 10 bananas for breakfast, maybe another 10 bananas for lunch, another 10 for dinner. That will start to work. So you cannot err on the side of quantity here. So always make sure you've got the quantities. One of the recipes.
What about, sorry, Dana, what about the timings? So
Yeah.
is it, should we have breakfast like 8 a.m.,
When you
lunch
wake,
around 12?
yeah. Right when you wake up, some of you wake up at 5. I know some of you here wake up at 5. When your day starts is when you have your lemon water and you start the routine. Ideally, as with the liver detox, you don't want to go for more than 2 hours without having something. Aim for three main, very dense in terms of quantity meals, and then in between have your juices. Have a light snack of some fruits. I love to do in between is where I do my juices, the specific juices. Like I have, if I need spinach and avocado, apple, pineapple, I'll do those juices in between my big fruit bowls that I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, thank you. And can it be like around 6:30, 7 p.m., the last meal?
Yes, that's the perfect time to end.
Okay.
Okay. One of the recipes has almond milk. Which one, Rania? I put something in there with almond milk? That's a mistake. There should be no almond milk, no oat milk, no coconut milk.
Dana, it's in the nice cream. I think so. It's optional.
Oh, then remove that as an option. Um, no, do not put any almond milk or oat milk in that. Let me go in and fix it. Um, the banana, I make it with nothing. You just blend the banana. That's it. You might put in a date. You might sprinkle some cinnamon on top. You don't need anything to blend the banana cream. For now, at least. Um, Amal, what is the minimum quantity of fruits, juice we need to intake so we don't risk? You will never risk malnutrition on this, never, because fruits are the highest form of nutrition. But like I said, you risk not hitting your healing, uh, uh, what is it called? You want to trigger healing. And that won't happen if you're not eating enough. So, Emil, you want to make sure you're following the basic plan that I've given, right? And everything else you've heard me say so far up until this point. Do not eat less. This is the biggest mistake I see on people eating fruits. Either you're afraid of the sugar or, it can be quite filling. But when I say that 6 to 10 bananas is a regular breakfast on a fruit detox, I mean that. And that's not too much. That's basic. Okay. So you won't be malnourished just simply because of how potent fruits are, but you will not heal if you eat less quantity than what's required. So if you go into the plan and follow the plan, that's how much you need. That's your basic requirement.
Dana, I'm confused about something.
Yeah.
So, um, only in breakfast you wrote like choose one of those, and
Yep.
in all the other the lunch and the dinner you've put a list. But I was assuming that we choose one of those, not eat all of them.
Let me look.
And there's nowhere I read about the 10 bananas.
No, that's me just saying this.
Oh,
That wasn't.
okay. I mean, there are no quantities in the program
Yeah,
that
no,
you
yeah.
haven't mentioned any quantities.
So I want you to eat a lot. In lunch, okay, is also you can choose. Those are options, okay? Every time I'm giving you a snack or a dinner or any of those, I'm giving you option, giving you ideas for this. Can you have all of the options? Yes. If you're really hungry and you want to have, you can have a bowl of fruits followed by a smoothie, followed by banana and ice cream. You can do that. But one of the options is your minimum.
But still, I cannot imagine the quantities I should be taking. I think I'm taking much less because
Okay,
my
show me.
detox is not.
Show me. Show me. Take a picture of what you're eating and I'll let you know. And next week, inshallah,
Okay.
when I'm back in Cairo, I will take pictures of everything I'm eating all day, and this might help some of you visually. But in the meantime, if you're not sure, take a picture of everything you're eating and put it on the group, and I'll let you know if that's good enough or not.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. What to do when I need to eat a salty, warm meal? Is it okay to do a salad of spinach, cucumber, tomatoes, avocado, lemon, and salt? So, like you heard me say, Emel, I would rather, if you feel like you want one meal at the end of the day that's cooked and not fruits, I would rather you do potatoes, sweet potatoes. You can actually also add avocado next to that and do that as the final meal at the end of the day. Rania, Omnea, can you share your affirmation? I think the affirmations that are in the module, and I think there's also some in the fruit plan, if that's what you're referring to, Omnea. Rania is asking.
Yes, Dana. Yes, yes. It's
Yeah,
the one that you shared. Yes.
yeah, yeah. They're all in your documents, Rania. Any other questions, ladies? Detox symptoms, if you've started on Thursday, today's Monday, if you've been doing it enough, right? You've been taking the healing dose, the symptoms can be fatigue, body aches, fever, mucus, runny nose, cough, emotional, irritability, um, crying, resentfulness, any kind of emotion you might have suppressed in the past is going to resurface. Let it. Don't push it back down again. Grief, all of that might be coming up for you. Allow it all to come out because our body is going to hold on to emotional toxicity in exactly the same way it holds on to toxins from what we eat and what we drink, etc., etc. Next week, we're going to be talking about non-toxic, non-food sources of toxicity. So we'll get more into that next week, including obviously skincare. We always have to talk about that. But for now, if you are starting to feel an emotional release, it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're not getting enough protein, so your body's tired, or whatever reason or excuse you might make up for yourself. It is the body responding, and the body needs to purge, and it's going to purge the physical toxins, and it needs to purge emotional toxicity. So if you need to, I would go back to the thought model. I think I posted that. I did post a link for that in the group. So do a search in the search bar, you'll find it. This will be a great time to go back to the thought model class and the emotional eating class. If you are getting, if your mind is really trying to what we call fight for your limitations, which is to have you not do this plan, then go for the thought model and obviously reach out to me as well. But if you also are having an emotional release, then you have a responsibility to do this. Go and watch the emotional eating class. They both are on the group. I attached them, their YouTube lessons from the hormone detox program. I attached the YouTube links in the group. Nidmeen, one more question. I only have 6 hours of sleep. Is this because your body only lets you, or you go to sleep late? Nidmeen.
No, but whenever I sleep, it's 6 hours. I know sometimes it's at 10 p.m., sometimes it's 11. I don't just 6 hours. Is that normal? And this is only recently.
Okay, I wouldn't worry too much about this because you're going to sleep at the right time. So this would be more of a concern if you're actually going into sleep at 12 or 1 a.m. and then getting 6 hours. But if you're going into bed at 10, maximum 11, this doesn't
Mm-hmm.
concern me too much right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
طب
Dana, I'm sorry,
أنا
last thing.
go ahead.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
please. Then
You said something about magnesium.
Mm.
Should we be taking magnesium?
only, supplements are absolutely not necessary. They are not what's going to heal you. By definition, there's something that are just an add-on. Um, we only can sort of gauge. And even then, I would say magnesium is probably the only one that you might need. Once you've healed, and once you've created a solid foundation where you're not eating inflammatory foods, where you've removed the toxins from your body because those get in the way, even if you're taking supplements, but you're still eating the inflammatory foods, supplements won't work. So we need to create a completely solid foundation first. Nobody needs to be taking the supplements during the detox. You're not going to be deficient in anything during the detox that you need to take a supplement to make up for. And that's just not how it works, right? And I wouldn't give you a plan that's going to make you deficient in anything. So once you're done with that, once whatever your healing target is, once you've hit that, then we can reevaluate and see, do you even need anything? And if you're healed and you're symptom free and, you know, low no and you perfect energy, you're sleeping, your skin is great, if you have your cycle, it's on time and it's light and bright and clean and easy and pain-free, and you can tick off all those boxes, why would you need a supplement? So we always start with the food foundation first.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Amira.
It's just a question, I mean, brought up by my friend when she learned what I was doing. And then she says, but don't you gain weight,
Yeah,
eating like, fruits, like open quantities, and all these, like dates and mangoes.
yeah,
And I said, no, but I mean, can I sort of say more like about that? We
yeah.
don't, right? No.
No. Okay, ladies, because this has come up in different ways. Do you think I would give you a plan that would jeopardize your blood sugar levels?
No,
Right.
no,
Do you think
no,
I would give you a plan that would leave you deficient in any way? And do you
no.
think I would give you a plan that would have you gain weight? Right? This is just ways, these are the myths I'm talking about that we just have to once and for all eliminate. And the reason that fruits are, they're the bad guys in all of this is because they are so healing. If they were ever to tell you to go ahead and eat as many fruits as you want, and this is how you're going to heal your diabetes, then you have a $1 billion industry that's going to be eliminated. If they tell you, go ahead and eat fruits for breakfast instead of cereal, instead of bagels, instead of whole wheat bread, instead of Greek yogurt, you have a $1 billion industry that's going to be eliminated. If they tell you, go ahead and eat as much fruits as you can and stop eating all the processed foods and the junk food and all of this, cancer will be gone. $1 billion industry eliminated. Okay? If they tell you that you can eat as much fruits as you want and you won't gain weight, and you won't, so everybody eats fruits, Weight Watchers, whatever, all this, the whole weight loss industry would, and that's
Industry.
another $1 billion industry, would collapse. There's no money to be made in fruits, and you know why? You can't patent fruits.
Yes. I mean, what I did was I said, this is not like, because she eats dried fruits. I said, well, what you're doing is wrong
Hmm.
because the sugar is condensed. You lose the fibers, you use any liquids, any nutrients, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
This is just condensed, actually, sugars.
Well, here's what you want to tell her, that the sugar, in terms of sugar content, the problem with dried fruits is sometimes they add artificial sugar to dried fruits. Okay. And the problem with dried fruits is not that they're gonna, if they're the naturally air dried, dehydrated fruits, okay? The bigger problem with these is that they're not going to make you gain weight if they're the natural ones without added also what do you call them? The preservatives. So
Sure.
most commercial dry fruits are filled with sulfates. That's the
Mm,
danger with them, okay? So that's what you really want to warn your friend off about.
mm,
Okay, is the preservatives. And then the fact that when you eat dried fruit, because they're dehydrated, we know that all the power of fruits and vegetables is in their hydration, is in the water content.
mm,
So all the healing power, the live, when we talk about what makes them alive that helps regenerate your cells is they're the only foods in the world that have the live enzymes, live minerals, live vitamins, um, the antioxidants, the pectins, they're the only one. The hydration in fruits is the most potent type of hydration that you can get. You can't get hydration from fruits by any other type of hydration. So when you dry the fruit, you suck out all of that hydration, you take out
mm,
all the healing powers. So you're getting a little bit of the fiber,
mm,
maybe, but
mm,
the real danger with dried fruits is not the sugar, because the sugar is going to be probably less because they've taken it all out.
mm.
Maybe they've pumped more artificial sugar into it. But
Sugar,
the
artificial
scary,
sugar,
yeah,
yes.
but the scary thing about them is the chemical preservatives.
Yes. Because it remains to be on the shelf and it's packed. It's packed. Yes,
There you go.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That
Thanks.
because that's the preservative.
Yes.
You can only do that because they've got a chemical in it. Nihed.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I'm on my way home. I'm walking. That's why. Anyways, I wanted to ask you something because I had a couple of hot flashes.
Hmm.
Ever since I started the food detox, is this kind of a like I don't what's that a sign of?
It's a detox withdrawal symptom. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So it's normal then, right?
Yeah. 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 Hot flashes, night sweats, excessive sweating as you're initially going through this process, stinky
Yeah.
sweat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Omneya again.
Yes, Dana, one quick question. Sometimes, most of the time, I work out in the morning, but then there are a couple of days I work out in the evening.
Okay.
So can I? So I finish by 8:30. Can I eat before, or should I eat actually before the workout or after? Because if I eat before the workout, it will be like maximum 5. So sometimes I feel a bit hungry after I come back. So I eat just like a banana or something. Or can I just push the dinner till right after the workout?
If you're eating fruits, you can eat fruits right up until your workout, because they're very light. So the fruits are not a meal where you have to wait after the fruits to do a workout. So you could literally have your smoothie or your big bowl of fruit salad, with your banana and ice cream, whatever it is, half an hour before your workout and go do your workout.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. Amira, do you have another question, or you forgot your hand up?
No, Dana, just my hand. Yeah, I'm gonna lower my hand. Thank you.
So your one self-care tip this week is to work with your detox withdrawal symptoms, whatever they are. If you are more tired, then rest. If that means not going to a workout, if it means taking more time to sleep in the morning, if you can, if it means taking an afternoon nap, then you do. If it means apologizing for outings, then you do. If it means taking a bath, then you do. Honor your body this week and next week if you need to. Usually, detox withdrawal symptoms will last anywhere from 3 to 4 days. The maximum I've seen is maybe 2 weeks. Really, 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 really like deeper healing cases can last longer than that, and it can come in cycles. So when you feel your body is working hard at healing, honor that. Don't work against it. Don't feel like you're breaking down. Sit with it, support it, rest. Doesn't mean you're lazy or weak if you have to skip a workout or you don't do what you're supposed to do that day or you order some takeout for your family. I don't know, instead of cooking, if you need to take a nap, don't let it make you feel like there's something wrong with you at any point in the process. The body is very smart and the body knows when it needs to use energy to heal. And so it needs you to conserve energy externally in the things that you're doing so that it can do a better job at healing you. All right. Any other questions? Omneya, is that another question?
No, sorry, I forgot my hand up. Sorry.
No problem. Any other questions, ladies?
Sorry, Dana, one last thing.
Yes.
So would you advise that if we can just skip the avocados and sweet potatoes and everything, or so if we can do this,
Yeah.
or should we integrate them anyways?
I know
What's
that
better?
you can, so it's not a question of if. So right now, all of you, your brains are playing tricks on you. Physically, you all can do this. There's nothing holding you back physically. The reason you think you can't is emotional, is limitations in that you think you have. There's nothing actually stopping you. So yes, my recommendation would be full on raw fruit. But I also want you, as you're working through potentially the arguments in your head, the back and forth, as you're going through that, if what's going to help you power through is to have the meal with the potatoes and the avocados, then by all means do that, right? So that you're not ending up in an all or nothing situation.
Okay, thank you. So it's just the coriander in the smoothie.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And then if, there's some of the add-ons, right? So if you need to add spinach, there's that. If somebody needs to add spinach, beets because they're sugary. Carrots are also more sugary. Avocados are fruit, so technically you could throw in an avocado into your daily smoothie as well. That's okay because they are a fruit. I'm like more concerned with the cooked meals than I am with adding in the occasional raw vegetable.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Omneya, do you have a question? Your hand is up.
Yes, I have a question. I'm just asking about the celery juice in the morning.
Yep. You don't need
It's
that. You don't
all
need
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Some of the add-ons have celery. So I would say if one of your concerns and the add-on includes celery, I would say juice it with an apple or with some lemons or something, but it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be part of your morning routine right now.
Routine. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So just a reminder, any of you not sure about quantities, send me a photo of everything you've eaten in one day so that I can support you and guide you with this to make sure that you're moving forward properly. Marianne, please tag me so I can put that infographic about the protein in fruits. And make sure you look up the thought model and the emotional eating class as needed. If you can't find them for whatever reason, let me know and I can dig those up and maybe repost the links again. All right, we don't have a class next week. Next week is all the Easters. So Coptic Easter, Western Catholic Easter, all the Easters together. كل سنة وانتم طيبين. And then, of course, Sham Nisim is on Monday. So we are not having, next week is Eid week, so holiday time. Our next class will be the following Monday, and we will be back to our regular Cairo time. So inshallah, it will be 7 p.m. Cairo on April 28th. And we will be doing brain fog, right? We will be doing what? It's either a book or no, that's not the book. The book is May 5th, I believe. We'll be doing another detox class, I believe. Yeah. All right. She's not here. Marwa has created a perfect schedule for us in the group. So if any of you are not sure, search in the search bar Marwa, and you're going to see that she created a very, very nice Excel sheet for us of the schedule of all the books and the calls and everything. All right. Um, Good morning, Basma. Aren't potatoes and sweet potatoes considered cooked? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it be better to have broccoli in the oven or potatoes and sweet potatoes? No, because I want the sugary. I want the vegetables that are closer to fruits than the vegetables that have no sugar. We're looking at healing through healing natural sugar. So the closest then to that when you want something cooked would be sweet potatoes, butternut squash if you have it, if it's accessible to you. Um, what else? Carrots. I guess you could cook the
Carrots.
carrots. But that's it. And that's only really if you feel like you really need something cooked that day, something to make the process sustainable so that, again, we don't do an all or nothing. All right. Yeah, so they would have to be cooked, obviously. Some people eat raw potatoes. Some people make potato juice. I've never tried it, but some people do. Yes. Those would be better than a salad. In this instance, if you were talking raw versus cooked, then I would say, what would I rather you have? I would rather you be raw, for sure. Yeah, I would rather you be 100% raw. So here are your options. All fruits, all raw with the salad, cooked potatoes, sweet potatoes. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
all raw salads,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's even better.
Yeah, the idea here is to push 100% raw. That's the
Mm-hmm.
ideal goal here, okay?
Okay.
So, and I know some of you have added salads in. That's why I'm saying it's okay. But if you feel like you want something cooked, then I wouldn't go
The
for
potatoes.
the broccoli and the asparagus and all of that. I would do the potatoes and the sweet potatoes.
Okay,
And,
great.
those. Yes,
Tamam.
you're welcome. Okay. All right, ladies. Thank you for a great session. Um, I'm traveling on Wednesday, so I will be probably not, you won't see me online Wednesday and probably Thursday, inshallah. So if you have, I would appreciate if you're going to show me photos of what you're eating. And then obviously Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday, Saturday is the weekend. So if you need to show me anything in terms of what you're eating and your quantities, please do that tonight and tomorrow so that I can get back to you. All right?
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies. I will see you back at home, inshallah, next time.
إن شاء الله إن شاء الله
Inshallah.
توصلي بالسلامة إن شاء الله.
Thank you, ladies. Good night.
Thank you, Dana. Bye.
Thank you, Dana. Bye.